लक्ष्मी नृसिंहं शरणं प्रपद्ये श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्य कवितार्कितकेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदाहृदये रामानुजतया पात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयोगमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदां विजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि प्रणोय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये माता पिता युवतयस्तनया सर्वं यदेव नियमम् आद्यस्य न कुलपतेर्मुकुलाभिरामं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटगुरुं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च निराकृतपट्टनाद श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखरयोगिवाहानि भक्ताङ्घ्रेण परकालयतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यं श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः। ओम अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम अस्मत्परमगुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम अस्मत्सर्वगुरुभ्यो नमः। नारायण नारायण
अरे स्वामी विजयश्री स्वामी वेदांत देशकतिंद पदाब्ज भृंगम नारायणादिभिषक्तम श्रीरंगनदिशेखर लब्धबोधम महां प्रपद्ये
सर्वगुरुभ्यो नमः।
Narayana, right now we are doing the Sri Stuti. Mahatma Vedanta Deshika's supremacy has come to be known to the whole world, mostly through Sri Stuti only. His unimaginable eloquence, his ability to compose any prayer instantly without any preparation, when his attachment or affinity, a great compassionate heart, that a poor man and an innocent man is asking for some help. That is what exactly counts in Sri Stuti. And as you know, in the whole world, there are only two Mahatmas who could please Mahalakshmi and make her give a shower of gold coins. Raining gold, literally raining gold. Gold coins showering all over the place. One, Adi Shankara in his Kanakadhara Stotram. Second, Vedanta Deshika in his Sri Stuti. I think we have seen up to the first 8 verses. Swami Vahuhu Tatchidapare Katichidapare Tapriyam Lokanatham Kinta Iranta Kalahamarinahi Kinchiduttirya Magnai Vatsam Priche Viharati Harautammu Sriram Sutiram Bhava Rudho Bhagavati Yuvam Dampati Daivatam Naha. Again, devotees, depending on their attachments, they will have some kind of friendly arguments. Hey Mahalakshmi, some devotees consider that you are the Supreme Lord, whereas some other people consider that even your Lord, Sriman Narayana, is the Supreme Lord. These two seem to be mutually contradicting. If you are the Lord and you have another one to lord over you, how can you be the Supreme Lord? So these arguments are sometimes winning, sometimes losing. But arguments will not help us to attain either Mahalakshmi or Narayana or the Divya Dampatis. As we all know, the Supreme Lord is also known as Ranganatha. Ranganatha, the whole universe is a drama stage and he is the director who runs the show. Tvat samprichehi viharati harau sammukhinam shrutinam. Bhagavan Sriman Narayana is just exhibiting his sportive activities, divine leelas. For him, Srishti, Sthiti, Layam are just nothing but child's play. He is just exhibiting all of them, and the audience are the Vedas. And why is he doing? To please you. If Mahalakshmi is pleased, Sriman Narayana feels blessed. Whereas we, the innocent devotees who long for both of you, you two are just one for us, one divine couple, one Divya Dampatis. Both of you together is our Supreme Lord. Both of you together. That is one greatness about the Deshika Sampradayam, where Mahalakshmi is given into due place based on us. And the interdependence of Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana on each other is beyond our imagination. Only Mahatma Vedanta Deshika could peep into their hearts and see how they are depending on each other. Here in this verse he says, Apannartya Prashamanagadho Baddha Dikshasya Vishnoho. That Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana, he has taken an oath to wipe out the miseries of all his surrendered souls. Did he not wipe out the difficulties of Draupadi? Did he not wipe out the difficulties of Sugriva? Did he not wipe out the difficulties of Vibhishana? Did he not wipe out the difficulties of Kakasura? Did he not wipe out the difficulties of the Gopikas? When we pray and we say, Krishna, are you listening? Krishna, I have been praying for so long. It is not that he is not listening. It is that he wants us to get more and more purified, because we still have a lot of contamination due to the trigunas. However much we accept a Sharanagati, still that Maya is still there acting, because we are still losing a lot of our Mahavishwasa. In fact, it is very strange, even after Sharanagati. Some people go for silly Devata pujas. That God, this God. What after all is the rank? What is there? What is their status compared to Sriman Narayana? So we have the greatest Dvaya Mantram that will protect every one of you. Even if it is coronavirus, please chant Dvayam, 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 Dvayam. For doing as Japam only, you require all the Acharam, Anushtanam. For doing as a Dhyanam, the greatest one, Dvaya Mantram that you can do as a Dhyanam. Sarvakala Sarvavastas, please do that. So, Bhagavan Sriman Narayana taking an oath, he will protect everyone. He will protect everyone who truly surrendered to him, is a fact. And when it comes to Mahalakshmi, immediately the minute Narayana has taken an oath, she says, I am the co-director. I will be your co-director. For what? Because you have to execute the job. And if you want to execute the job, you need me. You want to provide, say, for example, to Kuchela, unimaginable wealth, you need me. You want to provide Moksha Samrajya Lakshmi, you need me. I am there with you as an equal partner. Nana Krutir Nayikaha. Whatever role you take, I will take an appropriate role. That's why they say, the very presence of Mahalakshmi in that Sri Lanka during the Rama Ravana Yuddham, even made Rama to give one more opportunity to Ravana. Go home for today, come tomorrow, I'll fight with you and kill you. That Sri Mahalakshmi not being there next to Rama, Sita Devi being abducted by Ravana, Vali did not get a second chance. Vali did not get a second chance. Whereas Bali Chakravarti's case, Mahalakshmi was so astonished. Who is this Mahatma Bali Chakravarti? That my Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana, who is a Lakshmi Natha, has come to him begging for 3 feet of land. Even though Sriman Narayana said, please don't show up, and he covered his Srivatsam with the deer skin that is there, just given to a newly initiated brahmachari after the Upanayana Samskaram. But still Mahalakshmi could not control her curiosity and just, pushed aside that deer skin a little bit and wanted to peek and have a look at Bali Chakravarti. And that one merciful glance of Mahalakshmi is enough to save Bali Chakravarti. Bali Chakravarti did not go back on his word. Otherwise, can you imagine the Rakshasas who valued their Acharya, Shukracharya to such a great extent, where even Vrushaparva gave his own daughter, Sharmishta, as a slave to Shukracharya's daughter. To that extent, the Rakshasas respected their Acharya. Do you know one thing more than human beings? Rakshasas respected their Acharya so much. Can anyone of us imagine? Shukracharya's daughter Devayani was offended by Sharmishta, the king's daughter. Devayani said, Daddy, come, let's pack and go. I don't like to stay here. Vrushaparva begged Shukracharya to stay. Shukracharya directed him to Devayani. Devayani said, if my father has to stay here, I must tell him. I will tell him only when you promise to make your daughter my slave. Look at the king. He said, so be it. Immediately he brought his daughter Sharmishta and said, from today I am giving you as a slave to Devayani. That much of respect the Rakshasas had for their Acharya. But Mahalakshmi's one glance has changed everything. Bali Chakravarti went against the advice of his Acharya. Shukracharya said, no, don't believe this young little boy. He is none other than Mahavishnu. He will occupy all the worlds. He will just wipe you out. The glance of Mahalakshmi is enough to make Bali Chakravarti say, so what? When the Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana, the husband of Sri Mahalakshmi, comes to me in the form of a beggar, and if I have to give him 3 feet of land, Sriman Narayana's hand being down and my hand being on top of it, is it not enough for me? If I lose my kingdom, if I lose my life, so what? That is more than enough that I have given Dhanam to Narayana. The glances of Mahalakshmi, even Sriman Narayana felt, what a magnanimity on the part of Bali Chakravarti. For 1 second, even Narayana was very doubtful because he knows the integrity of Rakshasas, their absolute loyalty to their Acharya. Absolute loyalty to their Acharya, Shukracharya. So, the minute Sriman Narayana says, I have taken an oath to protect all my devotees, to wipe out all their sorrows, all their miseries, Mahalakshmi immediately says, I am with you. I am with you. Count on me. I am always with you. I am your Nityanapayini. That is the most satisfying statement. What is it that makes Narayana so much attached to Sri Mahalakshmi? That one statement from that Mahalakshmi, that I am your Nityanapayini, who will not leave you even for 1 second. And that is the reason why Sri Mahalakshmi manifested in all the million forms according to the different incarnations of Bhagavan Srimanarayana. As Sita sometimes, as Rukmani, as Ashtalakshmis, as Chinsulakshmi, as Bhudevi in Varahavatara, in millions of forms. Just like the sweetness of milk can never be separated from the milk, the soothing rays of moon can never be separated from the pleasant moon. The burning effulgence of sun can never be separated from sun. And that Sri Mahalakshmi's presence makes all the difference. In the next verse, Mahatma Deshika says, Dhatte Shobham Hari Marakate Tavaki Murtiradya Tanvi Tungastana Bharanata Tapta Jambunatapha Yasyam Gaccham Chudaya Nilayehi Nityamananda Sindhavu. Ichha Vegollasata Lahari Vibramam Yaktayaste. Mahalakshmi, Rupecha Lakshmi. There is nobody who can be more beautiful than Mahalakshmi. Pray, 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 pray and pray. One day Mahalakshmi will certainly bless you with her divine form. You can see, you can enjoy, and you can never forget. You will constantly crave to see that Mahalakshmi. That Mahalakshmi, with her unimaginably beautiful form, the beauty of Mahalakshmi is more so in her thin waist, very thin waist. And her body color is that of molten gold, pure yellow in complexion, molten gold, aparanji, and slightly bent because of this Thana Bharanatam, because of her extremely body shape, extremely beautiful body shape. The upper portion of the body is slightly heavier, much heavier than the slender waist can hold. So slightly bent. And this kind of lightning, Vidyut, form of Sri Mahalakshmi adds more and more to the charm of Lord Sriman Narayana. Sriman Narayana himself is a Sakshat Manmadha Manmadha. He itself is enough to mesmerize everyone. But when that Sriman Narayana, the most auspicious looking person, who can mesmerize even Manmadha, when he is there accompanied by a lightning, a dazzling lightning, that of a molten gold color, and that too the contrast being seen, his body being like a dense emerald, marakatam, green, blue, black, grey body hue. You cannot say black because it is dark green. You cannot say dark. You cannot say green. You cannot say blue. A mixture of all these. Against that background of Sriman Narayana's color, this molten gold luster of Sri Mahalakshmi is like a dazzling lightning. And the innumerable incarnations, manifestations, they just appear and disappear at the will and pleasure of that Mahalakshmi. And how are the appearances and disappearances? Just like the waves in the ocean of bliss, Ananda Sagaram. The waves will come, all of a sudden they disappear. Again they come, again they disappear. Same way, the Ananda Sagaram, that is her eternal form. Why? Vedas so declare. Anando brahmeti vyanar anandadhyeva kalvimani bhuta nijayante anandena jat anandena jata nijivante. And Maharashmi, being none other than the same Paramatma Swarupam, is also an ocean of bliss. Jivatma is of the form of knowledge, jnana. Paramatma is of the form of bliss, anandam. And anybody who is caught in the samsara doesn't have to worry that why we are caught. When there is a way out, why worrying that you are stuck somewhere when there is an easy way out? Either you should be smart enough to know the way yourself, or you should be fortunate to listen to elders and do that Sharanagati and get out of this material bondage. The material bondage, the more we are slaves to that, the more we lose even our Sri Vaishnava nature. As Bhagavatas, to keep up our Sharanagati, one of the two horrible mistakes we should never commit is Bhagavata Pachara. But because of the Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna acting on so many of the Bhagavatas, they still do Bhagavata Pachara. But if you have the grace of that Mahalakshmi, you will never make Bhagavata Pachara. The mother is there constantly to protect you. The father is there constantly to punish you and set you right. The mother is there constantly to protect you from even committing that mistake. Asamsaram mitramiklam vanmayam yadvibhutihi yadbhubhanga kusumadhamshaha kinkaro merudhanva yasyam nityam naina shatakaihi ekalakshyo mahendraha padme tasam paridhikarasau bhavaleshaistvariyaihi. So some of the poetry written by some authors, that all three ladies are the same. Saraswati, Lakshmi, Parvati, Indra's wife Shachi Devi, all of them are the same. Or Parvati is the mother of all these people, Adishakti, is not acceptable according to the Vedas. That is why Mahatma Deshika says, Hey Sri Mahalakshmi, that goddess of Jnanam, knowledge, Saraswati, and it is under the control of Saraswati, all the vocabulary, all the words, in all the literature, in all the worlds are there. And that Parvati is a very charming person. And the twisting of the eyebrows made Manmadha, even the lord of Shankara. After Daksha's daughter Sati Devi immolated herself because her father Daksha did not pay proper respect, due respect to Shankara. She could not bear that insult in that Daksha Yajna and immolated herself. and reappeared as Haimavati, Himavan's daughter. Himavan's daughter, and was doing tapasya without even eating the leaves. That's why she is called Aparna. Finally, Manmadha came to her rescue, and with the blessings of Parvati, Manmadha could even disturb Shankara. Shankara opened the third eye and burnt Manmadha to ashes. But Parvati's tapasya can be stopped. Shankara could not overpower. He could kill only Manmadha, but not his arrows. Shankara was overpowered by passion to marry and called Parvati Uma. Ma, enough, you did tapasya, Ma, no more. So that is how just the twisting of the eyebrows of Parvati could make even Manmadha, the lord of Shankara, win over him. And that goddess Shachi Devi, Indra's wife, is so beautiful. And this Indra is blessed with 1,000 eyes. And with all his 1,000 eyes, he will keep on looking at Shachi Devi because she is so beautiful. Yashyam Nityam Nayana Shatakaihi Ekalaksho Mahendraha. Nayana Shatakaihi, with hundreds of eyes. That's why he is called Sahasraksha Indra. We must understand this is Shachi Devi's beauty, the Parvati Devi's twisting of the eyebrows, or Saraswati Devi's ability to keep all the vocabulary under her control. All these different forms are very small changes of a small speck of the grace of Sri Mahalakshmi. It is Mahalakshmi's grace only. That's why Mahatma Deshika at another place says, any female form is but a minute fraction of Mahalakshmi. When Saraswati, Parvati, Shachi Devi themselves are considered as a small speck of Mahalakshmi's grace, and that small speck could wield that much of authority to be Saraswati, under whose control the whole vocabulary is there, or Parvati, under whose twisting of the eyebrows makes everyone, even Manmadha, superior to Shankara, and the beauty of Shachi Devi, that Indra keeps on looking at her with all his thousands of eyes. That Shachi Devi is so beautiful, unfortunately. And that is why when the actual Indra has gone into hiding because of Brahmahatya Patakam, and the temporary replacement Indra, Nahusha, fell for the beauty of Shachi Devi, and finally, unfortunately, ended up as a snake, as a python. So, the Saraswati, Parvati Devi, and Shachi Devi's glory, they get only from a small speck of the grace of Sri Mahalakshmi. Now comes Sri Mahalakshmi appearing from the ocean of milk. Agre bhartuhu sazijamaye bhadrapithe nishanam ambhorashehe adhigata sudha samplavat uddhitam tvam पुष्पासारस्थगित भुवनैः पुष्करावर्तकाद्यैः क्लुप्तारम्भाः कनककलशैः अभ्यसिञ्चन् गजेन्द्राः. Everything is opulence for Mahalakshmi. When Mahalakshmi has to have a divine bath, Abhishekam, It is the celestial elephants, the guardian elephants, will give a holy bath with a gold kalashams. As this Sri Mahalakshmi manifested in the ocean of milk, we ordinary children, ordinary human beings, come out of the womb of a mother with so much of impurities all around in the embryo sac. And the minute when a child is born, the child, is there covered with so much of dirty stuff. So immediately the child is given a bath. But here Mahalakshmi came out of the ocean of milk, so pure. In spite of that, for the customary bath for a newborn, the guardian elephants of all the 8 directions, they come and give a wonderful bath for Sri Mahalakshmi. In fact, it is only to welcome Sri Mahalakshmi. Sriman Narayana himself joined the journey. That Sriman Narayana was there in so many forms. Meru Shikhari Namaham, that Meru Parvata used as a churning rod is an Amsha of Narayana. Sarpana Amasni Vasukihi, the churning rope used, Vasuki, is an Amsha of Narayana. Among the Devas, Indra is an Amsha. Vedanam Samavedosmi, Deva Namasmi Vasavaha. Among the Devas, Indra is an Amsha of Lord Krishna. As the Mandharagiri was sinking, Sriman Narayana became Kurma Rupa. Sriman Narayana came out as a Dhanvantari with Amrita Kalisham. Sriman Narayana became Mohini to distribute Amritam to Devatas. And Sriman Narayana himself is personally there to welcome Sri Mahalakshmi. Put it this way, ma. Put it this way, in your own way. I don't know whom I should say. Okay, this poor girl Vasudha is there. Say, for example, Vasudha is getting angry with her husband. And she says, I'm fed up, enough is enough. I'm going to my mother's place. Good. She went there only for 1 week. But after going there, she felt very bad. That she should not have behaved like that. And she wanted to come back. Immediately from India, she'll make a call. Sorry. I should not have done that. I really love you. I'm coming back. I'm already there at the airport. Come and pick me up. Now, don't you think, Vasudha, that even though you got angry with your husband, even though you went away, and when you're coming back, don't you think your husband is there waiting for you with a smile at the airport to receive you? Hello, Vasudha, are you there?
Hopefully, Swamiji.
What is it?
Hopefully, Swamiji.
What do you mean by hopefully? He will be there. Don't be so pessimistic. The same way that Bhrigu Maharshi came, kicked on the chest of Sriman Narayana. I don't know, I couldn't pick on anyone else, so that's why I thought, I picked on Vasudha, that's all. Yes, Bhrigu Maharshi came. Bhrigu Maharshi kicked on the chest of Sriman Narayana. That is the place of residence of Sri Mahalakshmi. She got annoyed. You should have punished him. All right. You say he is your grandson. Yeah, your grandson, not my grandson. Narayana, from the Navikamalam Brahma, from Brahma's mind Bhrigu. Therefore, in what way I am concerned? Your grandson, not my grandson. Let me purify the place. Now Mahalakshmi has to come back. How? From the same Kshetrasagara. from where he is lying down. So as the churning goes on, Sriman Narayana himself was there personally to welcome that Sri Mahalakshmi. That's why in so many forms. In fact, one Mahatma has even said, Sriman Narayana was thinking, will she come from under the ocean? Let me be the first one to welcome her as Kurmavatara. Will she come from one side? Let me be as Vasuki there to welcome. Will she come from the center? Let me be as Mandara. Will she come from the other side? Let me be there churning on the other side. In millions of forms, Sriman Narayana was there. That is the kind of attachment between Sriman Narayana and Sri Mahalakshmi. And the most auspicious Padmam, Padmasane, Padmapriye, Padmini, Padmahaste, Padmalaye, Padmadalaya Takshi, Padmalaya, one who is there, always sitting in the lotus flower, with Sriman Narayana right in front of her. And all those celestial clouds of Pushkala, Avartaka, etc., they started raining. Yes. A shower of all the divine flowers from the Swargaloka. And those flowers covered such a great shower. The entire world, all the worlds, and the guardian elephants are doing the celestial holy bath, Abhishekam, Mangala Snanam. So the opulence of Mahalakshmi is beyond anybody's imagination. She is the supreme goddess. She is the very mirror image of Sriman Narayana. And Sriman Narayana is always there trying to please the Sri Mahalakshmi. And in turn, Sri Mahalakshmi, and every time to please Sriman Narayana. Alokyatvam Amrita Sahaje Vishnu Vakshasthalastam Shapatranta Sharanamagaman Savarodha Surindra Labdha Bhuyastuhuvanamidam Lakshitam Tatkatakshihi Sarvakarastra Samudayam Sampadam Nirvishanti. You know, even Indra was cursed once, and he regained his Indra post only by the grace of Mahalakshmi. You would have seen back home in India, when VIPs like ministers, governors, chief ministers, prime ministers, when they visit the temples, the temple authorities, out of respect, invite them with Purna Kumbham and will bring a garland from Bhagavan and offer it to them. And they will keep the garland only until all the people have taken the photographs. Afterwards, they will take out the garland and they will give it to their driver or attendant or somebody. And you know what they do, right? They will take it out and put it to the car in which the minister or the governor has to go. They will put it to the car. It's not proper. It's not the right thing to do because it's a mistake. And the same thing happened here. Once upon a time, Indra was there riding his Airavatam. Durvasa Maharshi came. Indra did his prostrations. Durvasa was so pleased with him, Indra, that he got down and he prostrated to him. Durvasa gave a beautiful garland. Indra put it on his neck and immediately he took it out and he put it to the elephant, to his carrier. That garland of divine flowers, celestial flowers, was having unimaginable honey bees. So as Indra put the garland around the neck of that elephant Airavatam, all the honey bees that were there were disturbing the elephant in its ears. The elephant got very annoyed with the humming of the honey bees, raised its trunk and removed the garland and smashed it on the ground. And in that fury of killing those honey bees, the elephant trampled over the entire flower garland. Everything happened right in front of Durvasa. Durvasa was very annoyed. I gave such a wonderful celestial garland to you, Indra. Instead of keeping it in your neck and enjoying the fragrance, you gave it to the elephant, and the elephant smashed it on the ground and trampled all over. If this is your arrogance, may you lose your Indra Padavi. Indra lost. And afterwards, only through Sharanagati to Sri Mahalakshmi, Indra gained his position back. That's why they say here, Hey Sri Mahalakshmi, you are born as a sister of that Amritam. Along with Amritam you are born. That is the reason why Mahalakshmi is a source of bliss. Mahalakshmi is the sister of Chandra also. That's why in Annamacharya Kirtana he writes, Amrutamu chuttamata Anandalake marugu. Somuni tobuttuvata Sompu kalalake marugu. Chudaramma Sakulala in that song. So, hey Mahalakshmi, you are the sister of Amrita, Chandra. Either beauty or bliss. Is there anything that is there lacking in you? All the Devi Devatas, including their chief Indra, and all those wives who are all cursed, they all surrendered to Sri Mahalakshmi. In that Indra Kruta Mahalakshmi Ashtakam, Shvetambaradhare Devi Nana Lankara Pushate Namastestu Mahamaye Sripite Sara Pujate, in that is Indra Kruta Mahalakshmi Ashtakam. And they gained their position back only because of the mercy of Sri Mahalakshmi. Sarvakara Starasamadayam Sampadam Nirvishanti. Generally, when you have wealth, you are afraid you will lose it. But if Mahalakshmi herself is a sanctioning, you will not lose it. Because these are man-made wealth, we are losing. But if Mahalakshmi blesses you with something, you will never lose it. And the highest wealth Mahalakshmi can bless us is that Vaikuntha Prapti. And once you get that Vaikuntha Prapti, you will never lose it. That's why in Vaikuntham they are not afraid of anything, because there is nothing to be lost. Everything is plenty. Everyone has plenty. Everyone feels like giving there, not taking away. Only on the planet Earth we are worried that we will lose our stuff, our possessions, our property, our wealth. But if Mahalakshmi blesses anyone with anything, there is no question of losing it. That Moksha Samrajya Lakshmi, she is the empress over there. Yes, there is an emperor, but the emperor does everything only to please the empress. And that Mahalakshmi, the Pattamahishi of Sriman Narayana, she will do everything to please her Lord, and her Lord will do everything to please her. That is the kind of a celestial bondage between the Divya Dampatis. That's why they say, if you have understood Sriman Narayana, you have understood Sri Mahalakshmi. If you have understood Sri Mahalakshmi, you would have understood the other person, Sriman Narayana. They are such true mirror images of each other. That's why the great Bhagavad Ramanuja, in his Gadyam, says, शील रूप गुण विलासादिभिः आत्मानुरूपय श्रिया सह आसीनम्. Atma Anurupaya, his own self-image is a Sri Mahavishnu. And they are there. Vainateyadivis Sevyamanam. Samasta Parivaraya. There are hundreds and thousands of Nityashuris. We only know very few of them. Ananta, Garuda, Vishwaksena, or the Divyayudhas in their personified form, as a Sudarshana, Panchajanya, Kaumudiki, Nandaki, Sharanga, etc. Or the Divya Apsarasas of Vaikuntham, not the Apsarasas of Indralokam. Mukta Jivatmas, we don't know how many millions are there over the past trillions of years, who did either Bhakti Yogam or Sharanagati Yogam. So, Samasta Parivaraya, that Sriman is never alone. Because Tadvishnoho Paramam Padagum Sada Pashyanti Surayaha. That's why he wanted to have a small break. Small break. Just as all of you who are working, for every 1 hour or couple of hours, you take a small break, whether you call it coffee break, or just for a walk, or just up to the cafeteria, whatever you call. Sriman Narayana wanted to have a small break. 125 years as Bhagavan Sri Krishna. 16,000 Maharshis as Gopika. 8 divine forms of Sri Mahalakshmi. Ashtalakshmis. That is Sriman Narayana and Sri Mahalakshmis. Agnabhava Sambandha. Artatrana Vrativiramurta Sara Neelambuvahehe Ambhojanam Mushasi Mishatam Antarangaira Pangaihe Yashyam Dishi Viharate Devi Drishtistvadiya Tashyam Aham Hamikam Tanvate Sampadodhaha. Hey Sri Mahalakshmi, the most beautiful glances of Sri Mahalakshmi are like the blue clouds. The blue clouds are the rain-bearing clouds. Any time they will rain. Any time Mahalakshmi may shower her mercy. And those glances of Sri Mahalakshmi are like a guaranteeing protection for anyone and everyone who truly surrendered to her, that their difficulties will be over. Just as the clouds pour down sweet water as rain, rainwater is not at all contaminated. Only when the rainwater falls on the ground, because of the material contamination, the taste changes. Otherwise, rainwater is the purest one. As the clouds are there, blue clouds are there, ready to pour down, here Mahalakshmi, your glances are equally ready to pour down the nectar of absolute bliss. In whatever direction Mahalakshmi's eyes are turning, in whichever direction Mahalakshmi turns her head to bless the devotees, to bless the unimaginable number of jivatmas who are craving for her, who are begging for Mahalakshmi to have a look at them. The minute her Mahalakshmi's eyes are there moving, just like the blooming lotus flowers in the early morning sunrise time, all the different kinds of prosperities, whether it is lands, gold, jewelry, pure silks, buildings, cars, whatever you want, all kinds of prosperity. They will compete with each other. I will be the first one to move in that direction. I will be the first one to move in that direction. That means all wealth will rush in the direction where Mahalakshmi turns her head. Ashtaishwaryas. There is no limit, whether it is houses, wealth, gold, children, knowledge, power. Mahalakshmi can give everything. She doesn't even have to give physically. The minute her glances just turn to one side, that is enough for all those opulences to be rushing in that direction. That's why the Gopikas say, Jayati Tedhikam Krishna Janmana Vraja, Shrayata Indira Krishna Shashwadatrahi. Krishna, the minute you appeared here in this Nanda Gokulam, Mahalakshmi made this Nanda Gokulam as her residence Krishna. There is nothing that we have to worry about anything. Mahalakshmi is physically living in Nanda Gokulam. That's the greatness of Sri Mahalakshmi. That's why all opulence is there. That's why all the Gopikas were there, dressed in beautiful silks, were endowed with wonderful jewelry, because Mahalakshmi made her residence in Nanda Gokulam. Because her Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is there. Jaiti Tedhikam Krishna Janmana Vrajaha Shaita Indira Krishna Shashwadatrahi. Let us all appeal to the mercy of Sri Mahalakshmi. We need to develop the purity in the heart. That way, all the opulences will just rush in that direction, competing with each other. That is another thing also. Me first, me first. And what is it we have to do for that? Yoga rambhatvaritamaso yushmadaikam cha yuktam dharmam praptum pradhamamihaye dharayante dhanaya tesham bhume dhanapati guha ambarat ambudherva dhara niryam chadikamadikam vanchitanam vasudam. If only we take up the oath that we want to practice dharma, that is the most important thing. Do we want to practice dharma, karma yoga, or bhakti yoga? To do karma yoga and bhakti yoga, you need some money, you need some material wealth. You want to practice bhakti yoga, you need the flowers, you need the fruits, you need the milk, all those stuff. You have to prepare prasadam. Karma yoga, you want to help the people, construct schools, construct colleges, construct hospitals, construct charitable institutions. You need material opulence. Of course, to do Sharanagati, you don't need any of them. You need a pure heart to offer to Krishna. So the minute you decide to practice either Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, Yoga arambhatvarita manaso yushmadaikam cha yuktam dharmam praptum pradhamamihaye. And such devotees, they will focus only on Sri Mahalakshmi. And to all such surrendered souls, that is, even after Sharanagati, you can still do Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, not because you are expecting any benefit out of it. Because these actions that you do, the Punya Karmas that you do, will please the Sriman Narayana. That's why after Sharanagati, whenever you go to the temple, you do the puja, etc., your sankalpam will change. You do not tell your Gotram, name, Nakshatram, etc. You will simply say, Bhagavad Ajna, Sriman Narayana Prichatham. This is the order of Sriman Narayana that he should be worshipped. That archanas be done to him, abhishekams be done to him, kalyanams be done to him. It is his order. And by doing this, I'm not expecting any benefit. Sriman Narayana Prichatham. May that Supreme Lord Sriman Narayana be blessed, be happy with this. Sriman Narayana Prichatham. For the pleasure of Sriman Narayana. That is how you should do. To all such the pure surrendered souls. So don't think after Sharanagati, you are overruling Sharanagati and doing Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. You are not. You are doing the Punya Karmas of you are going to the temples or giving something to charity, etc. You are doing it out of your love for God, to please Him, not because you are expecting something out of it. And for such people, the wealth will start pouring in. As though it is coming out of the earth. Sometimes you dig your backyard, you may find a buried treasure. Or the wealth is coming from the gods, Tesham Bhumer Dhanapati Gruhat, from the house of Dhanapati, Kubera, from celestial source. Ambarat are from the sky as a rain of gold coins. Ambudherva are from the ocean like a treasure that is washing ashore. Mahalakshmi can bless a pure soul in any number of ways. Dhruva, he was humiliated. By his stepmother. He did unimaginable tapasya to Sriman Narayana. Mahalakshmi blessed him with Dhruva Padam. Vibhishana surrendered to Rama. Rama blessed him as the future king of Lanka. Vibhishana did not want kingdom. He just surrendered to Rama. But Rama blessed him and made him the king of Lanka. Gopikas did Sharanagati. They didn't want anything other than just to please their Govinda. And that Govinda blessed them with a unique position. Parama Aikantika Sarvabhaumas. Nobody can be there in their true devotion to Krishna like the Gopikas. That unique place was given. So just as Bhagavan is blessing us, Mahalakshmi will also bless the truly surrendered souls. Whether Sriman Narayana blesses or Mahalakshmi blesses, they both are the same. That both the results are coming from the Divya Dampatis. For our satisfaction, we think Rama blessed or Mahalakshmi blessed. It is from both of them. As you know, at the time of Rama Pattabhishekam, Sita Devi wanted to give a beautiful chain. She turned to Rama, saying that take it and give it to your favorite. Rama understood her intentions and told her, you know whom you like, you can as well give it. She called Hanuma and gave that chain to Hanuma. So that is their unimaginable relationship. If Mahalakshmi wants to bless, our two hands are not enough to hold. If Sriman Narayana wants to bless, our two hands are not enough to hold what he is giving. And if both of them want to bless us, we will be just overwhelmed. Shreyaskama Kamalanilaye Chittanamnaya Vacham Chudapidam Tavapadayudam Chetasa Dharayanta Chatrachaya Sudhagashiratas Chamarasmera Parshva Shlaga Shabda Shravana Mudita Tadvinas Sancharanti. He Mahalakshmi. Kamala Nilaye, one who has her place of residence as lotus flowers in themselves, always seated on the lotus flowers. All those pure devotees who are concerned only about their moksha prapti, amushmika prapti, aihikam in the ihaloka, amushmikam in the paraloka. They always worship the lotus feet of Sri Mahalakshmi. Those lotus feet of Sri Mahalakshmi are glorified in all the Vedas, in all the Upanishads. Amnaya Vacham Chudapidam. Amnaya by all the Vedas. Upanishads, the Vedantas. And because those devotees have truly surrendered to the Divya Dampatis, even those Bhagavatas are glorified. And they are honored like kings, like emperors. They are garlanded. They are fanned with chamaras. They always move under umbrellas. And they are praised for their achievements, their spiritual achievements. Are we not doing it for all the Alvars? They are the truly surrendered Mahatmas. So whenever their nakshatras, their birthdays come, are we not giving abhishekam to them, making them sit next to Bhagavan, keeping Bhagavan's padukas on their head and doing the abhishekam? Are they not taken round in utsavas, chatra chamaradi upacharas, garlands from the Bhagavan? So even the devotees are glorified. It is like you glorify Sri Mahalakshmi, and in turn, or you glorify Sriman Narayana, or you glorify the Divya Dampatis. In turn, that Sri Mahalakshmi, Sriman Narayana, or the Divya Dampatis, they will make sure that you are also glorified. You are also glorified with the Chatra Chamaradi Upacharas, being garlanded, etc. Do not think by doing Sharanagati, it is not only spiritual advancement, even your material progress will be there. That a true Sharanagati involves not only spiritual upliftment, but even the material progress also. In the beginning, they may suffer. Annamacharya suffered, but afterwards he enjoyed all the opulence. Ramadas in Bhadrachalam he suffered, but afterwards he enjoyed all opulence. Prahlada in the beginning he suffered, but afterwards he enjoyed all opulence. Mirabai, she suffered in the beginning, but she enjoyed all opulence as the great devotee of Krishna. Every one of them, having surrendered to Sriman Narayana, Sri Mahalakshmi, or to the Divya Dampatis, they are praised by all the people. They are garlanded. Chatram, umbrella. Chamaram, the fanning. That white, long strand, that is nothing but the hair from the tail of a kind of a deer that is there in Himalayas, called Chamari. The deer name is Chamari. And because this is the hair from the tail of the chamari, it is called a chamara. Because of the unimaginable winter, cold weather in Himalayas, this deer developed a lot of hair to protect itself as a cushion. So the hair from the tail is so thick that is there collected and made a chamaram to fan Bhagavan. So even the devotees who surrender to Sri Mahalakshmi are getting all the glories. Go ahead, Amma. What are your questions? If you want to ask something, please feel free. Again, we'll meet at 10:30 to continue our Dvaya Mantrartham. Go ahead, sir. Any questions, Amma? Hello? You can unmute your phone, Amma. Now, anyone of you, Amma? No questions? Are you there, Amma? Could you hear me?
Srimanarayana Swamiji.
Okay, Amma. Go ahead.
Nitya Suris. So is it a constant number or will there be new Nitya Suris?
What is it? What is it?
Nitya Suris, Swamiji.
Nityashuris?
Are they a limited number and will there be new ones added to Nitya
No,
Suris?
there is no addition to their number. There is a constant number.
Okay.
We, the Jivatmas, can only aspire to become muktas, liberated. But we can never aspire to be Nityashuris. That's a fixed number. Nobody is promoted as Nityashuri. Even the great Acharyas, they have their separate place, but not as Nityashuris. Nobody replaced Garuda. They may come as Amshas. Garuda Samsha, Periyalva. Kaustubham Amsha, Prashekharalva. But they go back there to their original duties. But none of the other acharyas or anyone is elevated as Alva, Nityashwaris. Go ahead, Amma. So, no chance was there. You can only become a Mukta Jivatma, but not Nityashwari. Hello? I can't hear you, Amma. Vasudha, I can't hear you, whatever you said. Hello, go ahead, Amma. Any other questions, Amma? All right, Amma. We'll meet again at 10:30 for the